We can't hear you or the song. No, Seisha, you've gone mute.
Okay, wait 1 second. Can you hear now? And me?
We can't hear you or the song. No, Seisha. Gone mute.
Okay, wait 1 second. Can you hear now? And me? Okay. When I start that song again, get into your bodies, girl.
I do it twice. Laugh in their face, ha 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 ha, then lace every moving nice. Who are they doubting? They don't decide. I came in loud, I came alive. I was born with power, dripping in grace. I don't do setback, I do grace. I don't chase the chatter, I don't chase proof. I sit with confirmation, I align with truth. I'm a powerhouse, I'm divine, I'm crowned to rule. I don't care about the struggle, I turn the pain into fuel. When I step into the room, they feel the air rise. They know a powerful queen arrived. Watch how I multiply, yeah. Watch how I multiply, yeah. Gold on my mindset, still in my spine. I don't beg for a seat, I bought the whole company. I don't care about the people talking from the side. I'm busy making mountains move for my life. I was born with power, more than enough. I don't do failure like sacred stuff. I don't need a witness, name in the sky. I saw my legacy every time I try. I'm a powerhouse, I'm divine, I'm crowned to rule. I don't care about Bill. When I step into the room, they feel the air rise. They know a powerful queen arrived. Watch how I multiply, yeah. Watch how I multiply, yeah. I don't bend, I don't break, no. I just build from every quake, no. Let them talk, let them lie. I just rise and rise and rise. I'm a powerhouse, I'm divine, I'm crowned to rule. I don't care about the rules. When I step into the room, they feel the air rise. They know a powerful queen arrived. Watch how I multiply, yeah. Watch how I multiply. Oh, yeah, yeah. Watch how I multiply.
Yeah, baby. What a tune. Now we'll just stop that and welcome everybody. Admit some more people still popping on. But hello, Falcha, on Swasti Astu, as they say here in Bali, which is the beautiful lands that I am on now. It's Misha Saoirse. I am Saoirse, which means I am freedom in Irish. And it's such a fucking honor to have you all here. We had 30 signups for this live ceremony. And I know, as I was saying before, we can never know how many people are going to come on because of the difference in time zones all over the world. But it really makes my heart sing to know that, you know, people and women and the matriarchs of today are picking up what we're putting down with the Rebel Ma Collective, and we are touching hearts and inspiring minds and souls across the world. So it's just fucking epic that we can be here today. And we have people here from Norway, Trista from Norway. We have Andrea from Gili Air in Bali. Oh, nice. We have Milena in Italy. Pop in where you're from in the comments so that we can give you a shout out. We have Olivia in Sydney. We have Hannah Mama Sky in the Spanish mountains. We have a worldwide web of incredible women who are coming together, who have been called here today to sit in this circle of truth and trust and potent sisterhood and just celebrate, you know, what we have created together during this time of the Rebel Matriarch Summit that we have sat on. So today is just really a bit of a a ceremony, I guess, to honor this time that we are in, and the spring equinox in here in Bali, where I am living, or right now, it's actually the beginning of the new year. So it's great. It's the third time that I get to start again and begin again and really, really hone in on my intentions for the year, because there's obviously the Gregorian calendar in January, and then there's Imbolc, which I usually celebrate as my kind of new year, which is the 1st of February, when Bridget, the goddess of poetry, smithwork, and healing, comes and takes the reins from the Kaliach, the goddess of the winter, and the goddess of spring kind of takes the reins, and the seeds begin to sprout again. Well, at least the frost on top of them begins to thaw. And now in the spring equinox, that's when the seeds really start sprouting through towards the sun, and we get that creative fire kind of igniting in our wombs again, and we get ready to go out there and set this world on fire with our love. So it's really beautiful that we get to sit together today to honor this kind of threshold that our ancestors, as the Celtic ancestry, would have gone to these amazing sites, to these sites that are aligned with the equinox, like La Crue, or like the Calliope's Chair, all these places in Ireland, which I'm sure many of you, no matter where you are, have sites that were built by the ancients that honor the seasons, and people would gather in community there to really welcome in this light, welcome in this new beginning, and let go of all of the old and anything that needs to be left behind in the dark months, to allow the light to return again. So it is incredible that we've got you all here. And for anybody who's listening or watching, whether you're on the replay or whether you're here with me, as I said, it's Misha Saoirse, and I am the founder of the Rebel Ma Collective, which is a group of women, a collective of women, all over the world, who are really coming together to, we're a global collective reclaiming our stories, and we're standing for a different future. We stand for a future led by the wisdom of the feminine. And what we've done is we've created books, and we've held summits, and we have really stepped into our leadership through, global retreats and things. So we're not just a book, we're a complete movement. And our stories are obviously the most important aspect and component of the Rebel Ma Collective, because we know that when we write to heal, we write to be seen, we write to ignite change in ourselves and in the world. And we write together as women who know the power of our voices and the weight of our words and the flame that we came to carry, because I am, as I said, from Irish lineage. I come from a long line of rebel women and matriarchal, there was a matriarchy in Ireland before patriarchy and colonization came along. All of our lineages date back to matriarchal ways of being and loving and leading, because patriarchy is only a really new iteration. And if you had seen Vicky Noble's chat with me about how we were always matriarchal from the beginning, you would know that, it's not something that is a fantasy or an illusion or like a wishy-washy thing that we all wish for. This is actually something that we have all lived and we all carry in our bodies, in our DNA. And it's a knowing that peace, that equality, that harmony actually can exist, because it has always existed. And we are the ones that are leading that return to the time of matriarchy now. We began talking about returning to the time of the feminine, but actually what we really want to do is return to a time of matriarchy, where mothers and children and life and the earth come first. And it's really beautiful, because I guess the reason why I'm so passionate about matriarchy and leading this charge, I come from, as I said, a lineage of survivors of people who overcame oppression and colonization and famine, forced starvation, should I say, say, and emigration and all of these things that, you know, really have left an imprint in me. And I am very passionate about standing up for other people who are oppressed, who maybe are suffering and, you know, under the hands of the colonizers who are still wreaking havoc on this earth, in this world now, to our brothers and sisters around the world. My mother and father have a huge influence on me. My mother was an OG matriarch. You know, she really led in a way that she was the matriarch of our household. She created organizations and communities that were matriarchal led. She really taught me from a very early age how power is not something to have, it's something to hold in service to others, you know. And she really loved to cultivate that sense of community and collaboration with everything she did, from her work in the world to her friendships and the women that she had around her. So I always had some incredible women and role models to look up to. And my father was also an author, an investigative journalist, and he was dedicated his life to uncovering injustice and systems of corruption that really, you know, held us people, the working and the middle classes, down. And, you know, he spent his life uncovering them. And I would go on road trips with him, meeting whistleblowers all around Ireland. And, you know, he really, I guess, carved a path for me long before I knew that I would walk it. But I did study journalism. I went on to work in the union movement and social justice. And then when I came to live in Bali, I set up my own publishing house with a purpose, weaving a lot of the personal development and spirituality work that I had done, training to be a doula and a yoga teacher, and merging all that I knew from, you know, having stories in my blood, sharing them is what I do. And now being able to share that gift with other women too around the world who want to share their stories, make their voices heard, and really fucking say no more, you know, really drawing a line in the sand and being a stand for who we are and what we're here for in this world. And my grandmothers too were also very spiritual, you know, very passionate about helping others. My granny Madeline used to like really help the traveling community in Ireland, which was a very marginalized and oppressed group of people. And my other granny, Mary, lived in Africa in the late 1980s and 90s. And she, you know, did a lot of work for Save the Children and really helped the children there. So I guess I'm so passionate then about, you know, making sure that I don't know, that I'm making a difference in this world. Like when I'm creating, I am fucking lit up and I feel so just alive, because I know that, you know, even though the world might be crumbling around us, that I'm doing something about it. You know, I'm not just sitting back and pretending everything will be fine. And I love to support women and my Rebel Mac Collective too, to keep them inspired, to keep them motivated, to keep them on track with their dreams, with their visions, with their missions in this world, to let them know that it is not only possible, but it is fucking necessary for us to be in our creativity, to be in our, I guess, passion for justice, and to continue to be a voice for not only ourselves and what we need and what we desire and what we want to see in this world, but also for those who don't have a voice and who can't use it. And that's why I'm so proud of our collective and our matriarchs who are rising alongside me, who, you know, are really, really passionate about sharing their stories in service to others and to the collective. And, you know, just waking up and shaking up the world with our words, with our love. And it's such an honor to be the midwife for the Rebel Mac Collective stories, who we have a few here today. So I hope that kind of encapsulates, I guess, who I am and what I do and why we're here today. And I guess I just love working with women who are, you know, also passionate about changing the world and unfucking the world, as I like to say, you know, and living like matriarchs now, which is actually a lot simpler than we ever could have known. And through this Rebel Matriarch Summit that we've just held, it really has made it even more clear to me that it doesn't have to be difficult. It doesn't have to be hard. We can all live like matriarchs now, you know, and living like a matriarch now just means to kind of, I guess, have some really solid earth-based practices, you know, to connect to nature more often, to like eat in a way that is seasonal and is, I guess, like an honoring and reverence to the earth, to seeing food as medicine instead of the pharmaceutical ways of, you know, drugging us up to the eyeballs with everything. You know, there's so many different ways that we can live like matriarchs today. And even in our mothering, you know, just really centering not only our children actually, but also the mothers, because if the mothers are resourced, then the children are resourced. And if the children are resourced, the whole community is resourced. So I'm really passionate about advocating for the mothers to be resourced, to feel like not like they are completely depleted and exhausted all the time. So we can give from a full overflowing cup rather than, you know, given from the dregs that we have left. And I know motherhood is always tough on us, no matter, you know, and everybody's circumstances are different, but the matriarchal kind of way is to look after and honor the mothers first, so that they can then raise their children in a way that they are resourced to. And that's really important, you know, to honor the mother-child relationship, and to also not be mothering on our own, because it does take a village. And I know that's been said a million times, but like, we need to have community around us. We need to have people who can help us raise our children. I know I was raised in a way where my mom lived on a kind of a commune with a lot of, you know, mothers and other families. So everybody shared the load, and that was normal for us back then. But in this day and age, we're all kind of disconnected from our families of origin. We're all living all around the world like wild birds, you know, we've flown the nest, and then we can kind of be lacking that sense of support, that ecosystem of care, and that village that we need to really be able to hold us. So returning to matriarchal ways really honors that, you know, that need for the village and other mothers around us who can help us raise our children, so that we don't feel so alone, you know. And also there's other, you know, the other parts of living like a matriarch now is honoring our body and seeing our body as the earth, as a temple that she is, and not rushing to change ourselves or try to stay youthful in our bodies, like embracing the aging, embracing the raging that is coming out of us right now at the word that we are seeing, that, you know, is really fucking overwhelming, because the world is being led by monsters. You know, it's a time of monsters, as they say, and we need to release that sacred rage. We need to allow ourselves to embody that rage too, and to use it as fuel, as that song said in the beginning, to be able to burn the old and rebuild the new, you know. And that, yeah, that's a big part of embracing matriarchy, is embracing and reframing aging, and really seeking elders who we can trust, who we can learn from, who we can listen to, who we can go to when we need guidance and support, because that's what all of the ancients had. And that's what we really want to return to, is that indigenous matriarchy, not just, you know, whitewashed patriarchal matriarchy, which, you know, can also happen, which we don't want either. And I have to say, I'm always learning and I'm always growing too. I'm only a young one, I guess, a young pup, and I'm learning every day. And this summit has been so eye-opening for me to learn from, you know, Indigenous matriarchs and from women who've been in this movement for 50 years, who are so excited to see the young ones rising up now, who are taking the torch, who are leading the way, who want to live like matriarchs today. And, you know, they're so generous in what they've got to offer and share. And they really, really care. And all they really want is for to see us living this, not just talking about it, but living it in our day to day. And the part that excites me is that, as I said, it doesn't have to be that hard. We don't have to feel like we're carrying the weight of the world on our shoulders, and we're having to, you know, claw our way or dig our way back underground through all of the archaeology back to the beginning of time. It's not like that. We get to like utilize the tools and the technologies that we have today, but embody the energy and the ethos of matriarchy, you know, which was always about caring for the community, about caring for our brothers and sisters, our children, our mothers, our elders, the most vulnerable amongst us. And it gives me fucking goosebumps to think like how simple that is, and how ridiculously like it should be. It just should be. And yet we have all been conditioned out of that knowing and that natural, way of what humans are here to be. So yeah, and again, it's as simple as listening to our intuition. That's how we dismantle the patriarchy from within us. It's as simple as connecting to our bodies and our sensuality and fucking claiming that, instead of shaming that, which the patriarchy also did. It's as simple as honoring our cycles as women, and really living in a way that is cyclical, with reclaiming the seasons of our ancestors and refusing to get involved in that Gregorian calendar shit, or reclaiming our cycles as women, because every day we can embody every single one of the archetypes that it is to be a woman: the maiden, the mother, the wise, and the wild. And we can really, really feel our superpowers come alive when we connect to our cycles as women who are still menstruating. And if we are not really reclaiming that rite of passage through menopause that makes us so unfuckwittable if we allow it to be. Now, I'm not even there yet, but I know from listening to my mentors and the women who are, it's always the women who are a little bit older, who are more solid in themselves, who don't give a fuck about all the other stuff that like we could be weighed down with. And they're not tending to little kids anymore. So they have the space to really lead, and they're the ones that get to step up, and we get to listen to and allow their wisdom to come through. The ones who are awake and who are I guess allowing themselves to move through that rite of passage in a way that is going to honor their power and help them remember who they are. So that's just a little bit, how to live like a matriarch today. It's pretty simple. I'm sure you'll all agree. And today what I wanted to do is really just bring us through a bit of a maiden to matriarch cacao ceremony. I don't know if anybody brought their cacao with them today. I did say it in the email, for us to bring some cacao, light a candle, invoke that power of magic, and maybe light some incense, and just let's get into our bodies, because that's the first portal, that is the first port of call that we want to go to when we want to really feel and heal from the patriarchal pace and relax into our bodies and ourselves. So I know that, we have been on this journey of the rebel matriarch, and I will bring you on a bit of a journey there too. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about the spring equinox as well, because right now the spring equinox is, today basically. And the spring equinox is all about, I guess, it's all about the darkness and the light being in equal balance, right? So it's more than just a moment in the sky. It's the turning of the soil, as I said. It's this really powerful threshold where the earth begins to stir again after the long dark. And I don't know whether I mentioned this while we were recording, but where I am today is Bali, where it's the beginning of the new year. So it's a real great time to really just look and honor our life. And because of this spring equinox time and the zodiac new year beginning, it's a time where we can really see the cycle of women as death and rebirth and renewal. Like the journey of the woman is to be born and then to die and then to be reborn again, over and over again. We can move through those thresholds of death and rebirth over and over again. So this is also the season of seeds, which I just love to think about. Seeds they're so small and so easily overlooked when you think about it. I just want to make sure that nobody's trying to get in. Yeah. Where am I now in this? There. Yeah. Okay. but yeah, as I said, seeds are small and they're so easily overlooked, and yet they carry, they carry entire forests in them. My granny used to always say the tallest tree in the forest was once a tiny little seed. So when you think about that, they also hold this balance of dormancy and life. They hold the mysterious promise that something unseen is already preparing to emerge. But a seed, it cannot remain whole forever, and for life to begin, it must split open. The shell must break and something must surrender to transformation so that something else can grow in its place. And I feel like that's such a huge analogy for this world that we're living in today, and how it's kind of, cracking open all of the systems that we have known, all of the death and destruction across the world. Hi, Tara. Systems that all once appeared immovable, they're revealing their fractures. And I, for one, am devastated by the extent of the propaganda that had worked on me across my whole life, and how I was groomed into certain ways of being and behaving because of this patriarchy, and this world that we live in. And it's just like, it's so eye-opening to me. And I know that many of us here are feeling that too. We really can see now so clearly all these old structures of power that were built on domination and control and separation. They're beginning to show, and it can really feel heartbreaking and overwhelming. But also at this same moment, there's another story unfolding, and that is the story of us, of the matriarchs rising, of, the women who are remembering who we are, and who are really planting seeds, and who are not like allowing this despair to take over, because we are rising and we are caring and we are showing our love in so many different ways. And there's so much potential there, because, seeds kind of, they grow from the dark, don't they? Like they really do. They sprout from the darkest place. And as mothers, we all know here, we understand that creation, new life, it begins in the dark. It begins in the womb. It begins in the conception phase and the gestation phase. And we know that to bring something into the world that is different or that is new, it requires patience and courage and devotion. We've got to tend that little seedling inside us for 9 whole months, while our body just works to feed it and nourish it and love on it so that it can enter into this world. And I always say it, but like, I'm so fascinated by women, because we are like the original portals between worlds, and we are the only power, or we are only force powerful enough to navigate unborn spirits onto this earth. And if we think about that power that we have, it's not only to birth children, but it's to birth new visions, it's to birth new cultures, it's to birth new gardens, it's to birth new ways of living, loving, and leading. And that's what we're doing right here and right now. So I'm just honoring you all for that, and for joining me in this beautiful ceremony where we will embody the phases of the feminine and the phases of the mother and the matriarch and everything in between, to really feel like, less confused and less heart-wrenching, watching the world crumble beneath our feet and wondering what will be left to hand over to our kids, because it's our job as women and as matriarchs and mothers today to not look away from the darkness, but to keep planting our seeds anyway, to notice the miracles every day, and to tend to the seeds of compassion and courage and imagination that still live inside of us. And we all have wild imaginations, and we need to use them even more so to be able to build this better world. We cannot allow ourselves to fall into hopelessness and despair. We have to dust ourselves off, and we've got to feel the grief, we've got to feel the frustration, we've got to feel the heartbreak and the pain. I was today in the gym, and I was like loving, being there and exercising, and then the Cranberry song came on, and that one about war and zombie, and I just burst out crying. I went from smiling and like nearly bursting out of my body with joy at moving to absolutely crumbling and crying my eyes out. But it was a beautiful moment because I allowed myself to. And you need to, because I'm just thinking of all the fucking mothers who are suffering right now, who are losing their children, who are running from bombs, who are still tending to their babies' cries, you know, in the middle of the night while everything is going on around them. And I just want to take a moment to honor the mothers, every single mother who have, despite it all, continues to create, continues to love, continues to show up with joy and with possibility and with imagination and with creation at her core, you know, as the beautiful Jessie Buckley, who won an award, an Oscar, the first Irish woman to win an Oscar, and she dedicated to the mothers, you know, and she said, this is to the beautiful chaos of a mother's heart, and that we all come from lineages, you know, who despite against all the odds, we continue to show up and we continue to create. And it just really touched me because it's so true, you know, and we're blessed to be in this Western hemisphere, I guess, where most of us are, but many of our rebel mas are in the front line and in the firing line right now. So we just have to do what we can with what we've got and keep showing up with love in our hearts and with that possibility and the seeds of potential, you know, and let them to grow and water them and nurture them and nourish them as much as we can. So yeah, we'll take a deep breath in for that. And I keep talking. So what we'll do is we'll go through a little journey together of the maiden to mother. And I'm just going to put on a little bit of music in the background where we can just get into our bodies. So yeah, you got your candles, you got your cacao, yeah? And ancestors. I love to play this ancestral song because it's my lineage, the Celtic lineage. But, you know, for anyone who has a different lineage to the Irish Celtic lineage, you just think about your ancestors. You just think about your the archetypes of the women that you admire, you know, and they can be living or they can be past, they can be ancient or they can be new. You know, it doesn't matter. Like, our ancestors are always there, and we can call on our well and wise ancestors to be with us, you know, to sit with us around the fire of transformation. And no matter where you're from and what lineage you've got, you can reclaim that memory of your sacred ancestry, and you can, you know, connect to them and their guidance and their support, because we do have the, you know, as women and as in this time, we have the power of 3,000 ancestors behind us, and we can connect to them and ask them, as I said, for guidance. So I will play this song and I'll keep it low. I wish I knew how to just loop it. Enable repeat. Okay. And if you have some cacao or anything there. Can you hear my voice now? Okay, girls? Will I turn the music down a little? All right, so let's just close down our eyes. If it's safe to do so. If you're on the move and you're in a car, that's okay too. But just like giving yourself permission to receive this, you know, and if you can't drop in now, drop in after on the replay. And this is a Celtic kind of embodiment journey that I like to bring my Rebel Maz on, to really connect to each archetype of the ancient feminine and reclaim her, because that is very important work. So just taking a breath, closing down your eyes, maybe just moving your shoulders and your neck around from side to side. Maybe spiraling your hips to really connect to that earth beneath you. Letting the roots of your womb break down through the earth and connect you to the womb of the earth below. Imagining your roots going down, down, down past all of the ground and the muck and the elemental beings of the inner earth, down into the waterways and crystalline caves, and all the way down to the molten fiery core of the earth. And allow your roots to wrap around her, really feeling her love, feeling her strength, feeling her endurance, feeling her unbreakable, unshakable spirit. and just receiving her warmth. And just when you breathe in, just allow that warmth and that strength from the earth to nourish you, to return to you, and just feel connected to her in a way that she can ground you into this moment. And if we just imagine ourselves just like walking towards a beautiful portal of water, right? We're in this meadow, maybe. Go to your happy place, wherever that might be. But I like to always begin in a meadow with, flowers blooming all around us. And then over the water, over the way, there is a little watering hole. And we walk towards the watering hole to step into that crystal clear water, that beautiful, fresh, revitalizing, life-giving water, and just allow that water to wash away any debris from the day, whether you're finishing the day, whether you're in the middle of the day, whether you're only waking up. Just let the water wash away any fears that you might have, any resistance. Just allow yourself to be here now, feeling fully cleansed by the water. And as you wash and release and cleanse and clear, just see over yonder, behind this beautiful crashing waterfall, a portal that you get to walk into. And behind that portal is this archetypal playground where we get to play with all of the phases and the faces of the feminine. And as you walk towards this portal, you see this beautiful medicine wheel, and it calls you to spin the wheel, knowing that it is safe, that you are safe, that you are going to meet the face of the feminine, that you are going to welcome and heal and feel each beautiful archetype that is alive within you. So let's move the medicine wheel around, and it moves to the east, to the element of air, the element of inspiration and motivation, and allow that sacred air to really blow life into you. This beautiful sacred element that, imagine yourself just gliding now through the sky like an eagle, with your breasts and your heart open and vital, and you're flying through the sky like wings wide, with the great spirit beneath your wings gliding you forward, knowing that you don't have to sweat the small stuff because you have a bird's eye vision. And here we welcome the maiden energy. The maiden energy is the energy of youthfulness, of innocence, of playfulness, of spontaneity. Like, remember when you were the maiden and you believed that you could be anything and you could do anything? Let's just breathe a bit of life back into that creative life force that we have inside of us before the world told us that we couldn't or we shouldn't, or before we believed that we wouldn't. Remember that maiden within you that was so believing in, pregnant even with possibility. And really just meeting her and bowing down to her and remembering her. The maiden is just this beautiful lightness. She's a free spirit. She says yes to things before she even knows what it means. And just honoring that maiden in you and asking her, is there anything that you need to do to continue to embody that part of you? And for me, I love to call on the Sheila Nagig for the maiden energy here, because Sheila Nagig, it was her day the other day, and Sheila Nagig is this portal. She's this like absolute kind of rebellious spirit. She is this creative genius. She's a portal between worlds, and she really can breathe life into our dreams. She can really kind of help us to navigate death and rebirth and transformation, and ask her to, breathe life into your weary heart, into your art, and call on her life-giving powers of fertility and endless possibility. And taking a deep breath into Sheila Nagig here, honoring her. She's carved into stone. She's up above all these churches and sacred sites in Ireland and all around the Celtic Isles. And she really is that portal between worlds. So breathing into her, and if you have some cacao, just, blowing into your cup, anything that you want to move out of the way so that you can embody more of this maiden energy. Beautiful. And then we will, if you think about the maiden and any of the wounds that we need to let go of before we move on to the mother, it's like any deep rooted sense of unworthiness, we let go of that today. Any sense of constant danger, we let go of that. Any lack of self-trust or feeling of lovelessness, let go of that shit right now, and allow yourself to really connect to what it is that you truly wish to feel, what it is that you truly want to believe about this maiden energy, and allow her to guide you to believe that it can be true for you. No matter what stage and age you are in your life, the maiden is still alive within you, but we don't want her running the show from a wounded way. We want her to be bringing back the joy and the spontaneity, because we need joy in these times that we are living in. And then we move the medicine wheel around to the south. And the south represents the element of fire. And fire is the element of transformation, of transmutation, of alchemization. So just imagining now, this beautiful snake, I say, slithering on the earth with its belly close to the earth, and just really thinking about the shedding of the skin of the snake, and how we can shed our skin, and how we can be born again and again and rise from whatever it is that we need to alchemize, because we can alchemize our wounds into wisdom, and we can transmute our pain into our purpose. And I love to call on the mother energy here, the archetype of the mother, and the nourished mother and the resourced mother, not the martyr mother. We call on the resource mother to, the one that radiates joy and nurturing and growth. And she, as I said, is this force that is so powerful. She can navigate unborn spirits onto this earth. And she is so, so connected to her truth and to her humanity, that she is ready to, birth, heal lifetimes and lineages to be able to birth this new earth that our children are trusting in us to birth. And if you think about the Celtic goddesses here, I like to call on the goddess Bridget. All right. Bridget, as I said, is this goddess of healing, of smith work and alchemy, of poetry. She is the OG, and she is one of the Rebel Ma's guiding goddesses. But we can call on her to sit with us around this fire of transformation, to burn away any limitations, and to walk with us on this path of liberation, of collective liberation, and ask her to ignite that flame from deep within our wombs that gives us the power to not only birth babies, but businesses and visions and new dreams and new worlds that weave the return of matriarchal leadership, which is what she really stood for. She is a master alchemist, and she can hold our hand and be a stand for us in this archetypal world where we really want to put the mothers, the children, the life, and the earth first. So taking a deep breath into this beautiful mother energy that we can all embody, whether we are mothers or not. We all have this mothering compassion and energy within us that we can ignite at any time, and really just allow ourselves to do what we need to do in order to nourish ourselves and nurture ourselves whole, and to come into our full bloom. That's what the mother archetype is, and enjoy rather than endure this mother summer season of our lives, and be able to mother not only ourselves, but mother others too. Because mother is a marsupial word, isn't it? It has the word mother and other. Taking a deep breath in to the mother, letting go of anything you need to that is getting in your way of, really allowing yourself to embody that compassionate, mother energy, and then blowing into your cup, wishing for what it is that you want to feel, what it is that you want to be in this mother energy. And then we move the medicine wheel around to the west, as we say in Ireland. And the west is the water element, right? The water element is this beautiful element that allows us to trust and surrender and remember our power when we might have forgotten. This is the wild woman energy, and I like to call on the Selkie. If we think about the Selkie, who is like, you know, this beautiful myth where the Selkie loses her skin and she becomes a woman, and then her skin is stolen from her and everything is stolen from her, and she withers away until she can reclaim the skin that she was born in and allow herself to connect back to her true nature. So the wild woman is about reclaiming what is being stolen from us or unknowingly sacrificed in service to others, like we can do in the mother, and really, you know, finding ourselves again, finding our own authentic path, finding our sense of self and what we stand for and who we are and what we want to embody. As they say, within every woman, there is a wild and natural creature, a powerful force filled with good instinct, passion, and creativity. Her name is the wild woman. She is ageless and ancient, but also she is an endangered species. And today we get to call on her. We get to embody her. We get to reclaim her. And we get to use the water element to, you know, move beyond any of the obstacles that might be in our way, to move with ease and grace and flow, with a ferocity that, you know, can just move anything that gets in our way from living true to ourselves and to this wild woman energy. And for the Celtic goddesses here, I call on the goddess Bowen. And the goddess Bowen, she is the liberator of wisdom. If you remember, or if you know the myth that she defied her husband Necton, who had banished her, forbidden her from approaching the well of wisdom that used to have all of the imbas, the sacred wisdom within it. And she defied her husband Necton, and she walked witherspoons around the around the well, and the water rose up from the well to meet her, and it actually took her, the water took her and dismembered her. And it's quite a gory story, but she became the well, she became the water, and she allowed that wisdom to flow. It's now called the River Boyne that flows through Ireland, but she released that wisdom. Instead of allowing these gatekeepers to hold it and hoard it, she released that wisdom for all to feel, to receive nourishment from, to receive the imbas for Osene from, this sacred wisdom and inspiration that illuminates. And we have her to thank for that. So if we think about Bowen right now and how she can help us to unleash the well of wisdom that we hold within, or to face off with the gatekeepers that might be holding us back from truly releasing what it is that we know we have to offer, the medicine that we have to offer the world. It could be others, or it could be our internalized patriarchy that is holding us back from truly believing in the magic and the inspiration that we hold within. So let's call on this beautiful goddess, she who embodies this courage and autonomy and this unconditional love and this deep embodied wisdom, and allow her to give us the courage that we need to share our gifts and our voices and our medicine in service to others. Taking a deep breath into Bowen, to the water, to the wild woman. And drinking down your cacao for anything that you want to embody further from that beautiful story. And then we move the medicine wheel around to the north. And the north is the element of earth. And if we think about here, it's the element, you know, our bodies are the earth. We are an extension of the earth. Our bodies are made up of the same stuff as the soil of the earth. And if we think about, you know, how we treat our bodies sometimes, how we talk to our bodies sometimes, and thinking about all of the ancestors that are in the earth, you know, all of the bones and the blood of the ancestors beneath us that have like been alchemized into soil again, knowing that we are walking on these sacred lands that have so much history, that have so much to share, and really just calling on the earth to take any pain that we might have away, to take any grief or anything that is holding us down and weighing us down, you know, and taking it and transmuting it. The earth can transmute anything. It's the biggest compost bin we have. But really just allowing ourselves with those roots that are connected to the womb of the earth, if we want to suck up through our perineum, you know, all the air and the love from the earth, and allow it to swoosh around in our wombs, and allow it to kind of breathe life back in there, and get into the corners and the shadows and the sticky bits and anywhere that you want to, you know, cleanse, anything you want to let go of, and breathing deeply out, giving it back to the earth, trusting that she can alchemize the darkness into the light, breathing again up through the perineum, all of the love and the strength and the resilience and the unconditional, unwavering love from the earth, letting it swoosh around in your womb, and then giving back anything that you need to, the grief, the pain, the worry, the fear, the heaviness, the horror. And one more time, breathing that life-giving energy from the earth into your womb space. Opening your jaw, just allowing yourself to make noise with your mouth as you embody this earth energy, you know, this wise woman energy. This is the wise woman here. This is where we become the ancestors and training of future generations, and where we really, you know that to be the wise woman, we possess a power like no other, you know. It's when life truly begins, when we're not afraid to be ourselves, we're not afraid to stand in our sovereignty, we're not afraid to pass on our wisdom without censoring ourselves. This powerful force that, you know, is always calling us forward deep into the known, and we get to trust that she knows where she's going. So she is the one that is, you know, rising in these times to the cries of the earth and the children, and we pick up our sword and we become mothers to this world. The wise woman needs no mirror for validation. You know, she is beauty in action. She is grace. She is humility. She's authenticity. She is this kind of truth, and she just illuminates from the inside out, because there is no better beauty serum than truth. So taking a beautiful deep breath into the wise woman. And here I like to call on the goddess Danu, because Danu is like the mother goddess of Ireland. And she was the mother of the Tuatha De Danann, who are the tribe of Ireland, these supernatural humans, superhumans kind of, that lived in eons of prosperity in Ireland. They were, you know, the Fianna and all of these mythological figures who shone in the light of their dawn. Nothing was in the way of them sharing their gifts and service to the collective, be it smith work or poetry or healing or the arts or anything that they had. They were born with this gift from Danu, and they illuminated with that gift, with their dawn. So here we get to call on the spirit of Danu to really help us to see, to move past all the conditioning and programming and fears and worries and just life that gets in the way from us really truly believing in the medicine that we hold within, and being able to shine in the light of our dawn, and trying to remember it's not something that you have to work really hard to be or do. It's something that was innately gifted to you at birth, and you just are it. and keep shining in it. That's what this world needs more of right now. It's just the daughters of Danu waking up and rising and remembering who we are, shining in the light of our dawn and sharing our gifts and service to the collective, to others, to uplifting the world out of the heaviness and darkness and back into the light where we all belong. I'm breathing into the goddess Danu, asking her anything that you wish to embody further from her. And then just really blowing into your cup if you have your cacao, taking a deep sup of your cup. And last but not least, we spin the medicine wheel and it moves around to the ethers, to the space in between. And this is where we call on the rebel matriarch. And if we just imagine this dragonfly now, that is, you know, the representation of our grandmother energy. And she brings us this dragonfly into the cave that is over yonder behind the waterfall. And allowing ourselves to follow this dragonfly over to the cliff, over into the ear of the cave. And just imagine yourself walking down in through your own ear and walking down through your throat and down through your esophagus and down, down, down into the womb, into your own womb, where these roots of the earth are so, so connected to this light. You can see inside your own womb cave because the heat and the warmth from the roots of the earth are lighting and illuminating up your womb. And imagine you walk into this womb room, this womb cave, and there you see the 13 grandmothers standing there waiting for you. They're standing there wanting nothing but love. They're emanating love for you. They're so proud of you. They're so happy to see you. And just giving yourself permission to walk into the middle of this circle of elders and wise women, the 13 grandmothers in the belly of the earth, and let them throw their roses at your feet. Let them put their hand on your heart and on your back. Let them look at you with their eyes smiling and shining, so proud of you and all that you have overcome to become the woman, the mother, the lover, the leader, the matriarch that you are today. One hands you a candle representing that this is your turn to be the torch bearer, to be the light holder, to be the flame thrower for your lineage, for the people that you are here to awaken, that you are here to hold with reverence and love and nurturing, compassion, courage. And let them just pour into you all of the love and gratitude that they feel for you, to be so brave, to be so ready, to stand in the face of the arrows that might come at you, to stand in the face of such hate and all of the stuff that is happening in the world, and to still hold on to love, to still hold on to trust, to still hold on to faith that it is not too late and that you get to emanate the power and the beauty and the love that all of the mothers of the earth wish for you too. You get to be that light now for others. They're so proud of you, and thank you. And call on them and ask them if there's anything that you feel is in your way, if there's any guidance that you need today, if there's anything that you're searching for or wishing to know, or if there's anything that you maybe just aren't willing to see. Maybe they can be those eyes for you. Just taking a moment to ask them, taking a moment to listen to what they have to say, and knowing that you are your own oracle in your own cave. You know you've got the answers inside you. You are your greatest source of wisdom and truth. And the more you visit this inner oracle in your Rebel Ma womb cave, the more she'll be able to guide you and help you know what you need to say, what you need to do, who you need to be in order to really truly embody this matriarchal energy and continue to live in integrity, in authenticity. And just allowing yourself to bow down to these beautiful 13 grandmothers in the belly of the earth. Say thank you. And just really allow yourself to sit on this chair in this throne. This is your rebel matriarch throne inside this womb room, inside this cave with this circle of elders around you, you know, initiating you into this rebel matriarch energy. How does she feel? This rebel matriarch in you. What does she speak? What are the words that she speaks to herself? What are the words that she speaks to others? What are the textures that feel good for her? What is even the chair that she's sitting on? What does it feel like? Is it mossy? Is it made of gold? Is it wooden? Is it fancy, comfy couch from IKEA? Whatever you want it to be. And just feeling into the energy of the rebel matriarch. What's she wearing? How is she moving? How does she dance when nobody is watching? What is she thinking? Because this is you, and this is the energy that you get to embody on the daily, even when things seem heavy. You get to sit in your throne as the queen of creation. And keep showing up and burning away all of the limitations and all of the patriarchal internalization that holds us back from living our truth, from living our dawn, from living our dharma, and from really enjoying rather than enduring this journey. So taking a deep breath in to the rebel matriarch within you, bowing down to her, thanking her for bringing you here today to be with us together. Hands and hearts stretching across land masses. Thanking the ancestors, thanking the gods and the goddesses, thanking all of the lineage that have come before you, and bowing down to those who will come after you. Thanking yourself for doing this work so that you can, you know, be this ancestor in training of future generations. Trust that you did what you could with what you've got from where you are. Taking a deep breath in. And anything last that you'd like to wish, that you'd like to embody, that you'd like to even pray for others, you know, really blowing into your cup, maybe a collective prayer for the earth, for the mothers. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on a little song for us to just move through right now. A little bit of dancing, because we've been sitting for long enough. If you want to just write quickly in your diary anything that came up for you. And we are going to just move through a little dance activation. So you can maybe just rub your hands in front of you. And then just really giving yourself a little rub around the ears, around the back of the neck, opening your heart space.
Make peace with all the women you once were. Lay flowers at their feet. Offer them incense and honey and forgiveness. Honor them and give them your silence. Listen. Bless them and let them be. For they are the bones of the temple you sit in now. For they are the rivers of wisdom leading you toward the sea. I have been 1,000
righty. And let's go, let's dance to this song. I'm gonna play this awesome song, Inner Bloom. And let yourself bloom through all the different, can you hear me out there, yeah? Awesome. Okay. Get up off your chair. Really dance to this now. Give it time. Beautiful. Feel the ground beneath you. Feel your breath moving through your body. Allow yourself to fully surrender and remember how to dance. Can you hear me as well as the music, yeah? Yes, this is the Rebel Ma Rave Cave. Oh, I'm breathing. Here we go, Tara. Woo! Let yourself down. Feel yourself soften. Feel the music take control. Feel yourself come out of your body now. Witness yourself unfold. Witness the woman who said yes to this journey. The woman who feels the whisper of the rebel man. Taking it, owning it. Feel those archetypes come alive within you. Fading, remembering how to begin again. Joy, the curiosity, the aliveness. Dance with her. Stay with her. Remember her. Remember the mother. Remember how she protects what matters. Let her show you how to create. Here we go. Wild woman coming through. Howl if you want to, scream. Wild woman refuses to be quiet. Rages, she misbehaves. Here we go, let your voice out. Break that good girl spell. Let the dark feminine breathe. Wise woman, listen to her. She rests when she leads. Ease without domination or control. Listen. Rebel matriarch. One who claims it all. No one circles her story. She stands in it. Yes. Rebel matriarch. Devoted to life, children, to the earth, the future. She lives through you right now, right here. Maiden, mother, wild woman, wise woman, rebel matriarch. Let them all weave through your veins. Feel them come alive in your body. There we go. Sleep, baby. Santos.
If you want me, if you need me,
Yours.
I'm yours.
Your truth is yours.
If you want me,
Voice is yours.
if you need me,
Desires are yours.
I'm yours.
Boundaries are yours. Own it.
If you want me, if you need me,
Emanate your radiance.
I'm
Jesse, magnetic. You're unapologetic. Get ready.
If you want me, if you need me,
Woo! That's it. Stomp your feet. Stomp your prayers into the earth. Your intentions. Take it out. Take what your mama gave you.
if you want me, if you need me, I'm
Give yourself permission to land back into your seat when you're ready.
If you want me, if you need me, I'm yours.
The rebel matriarch is yours. She is you. This is what it feels like to fully embody her. Let her come alive inside of you. And what we're going to do now is just really just take a moment to honor that, this rebel matriarch that feels fully embodied right now in this place of the Equinox portal. Let us honor what has been. Let us honor the completion of this beautiful summit and the Rebel Mad trilogy that we have so lovingly poured our hearts into over these last 3 years. The stories that were told, the courage that we all hold, and the seeds that have been planted, And now as we stand at this new threshold, it's not the beginning, it's not the end, it's actually the beginning of a new chapter, of the Matriarchy Now chapter, of this something that we get to live now. Matriarchy is not something we wait for. As I said, it's something we live and embody today and every day, in how we mother, in how we love, in how we lead, in how we choose again and again to rise from the ashes, to remember our power, to lean towards love and life. Even in a world that feels like it's burning, we still plant, we still tend, we still create, we still build hope. And we burn the old to build the new. So taking a deep breath in and making a promise, an inner promise to your own inner bloom, to the rebel matriarch within you. Promise that you will not abandon her, that you will continue to return to her, that you will listen to her, that you will live with her in your everyday life. Let her land. Feel your heart beating in your chest. Feel your womb vibrating with aliveness, hopefully. Let it all land, integrate, marinate. And then we'll take this one step deeper before we leave each other, bringing your awareness to your heart, bringing your hands to your womb. Just honoring the woman in you. And I invite you just to write a little letter to your rebel matriarch now before you forget. A letter of commitment, a letter of gratitude, a letter of truth. Just let her know that you see her, that you choose her, that you are her. There's no right or wrong way to do this. Just be honest and open. I'll play a little bit of music and you can just play away for 3 minutes. you. You can see us all beavering away there. I hate to stop you. Oh, thank you. Tara had to go. If anyone wants to just write in the box how they're feeling, what they received from that, I'd love to know how you're feeling right now, what landed for you, what was activated in you, what you're grateful for, what if there's any extra support that you might need. And if anyone would love to share their little letter, I would love to hear from you. Empowered, alive. Yes. So grateful. I needed that to embody and reconnect with my rebel ma again. I love you. Yes, yes, yes. That's what I like to hear. So beautiful. Would anyone like to read their rebel matriarch letter aloud and really take this to an even deeper level?
I will.
Yay. Sheila, tell me.
I am honored to be here celebrating the beautiful closing summit with the Rebel Ma tribe. I reclaim my maiden energy of hope, possibility, joy, spontaneity. I shed the shame and the silence of that period. I embrace my mother energy of courage, love, ease, power, strength, wonder, and bliss. I then go to the wild woman of confusion, chaos, learning, awakening, growth. And now to this beautiful, wise, and matriarch of embodiment, dealing with the conflict, integration, and implementation. And more than ever, sharing with everybody, particularly the younger women, so that they can advance or accelerate this journey for themselves.
Beautiful. I love it. And I'm honoring you for all you continue to lean into, to share your story and your truth and your magic with the world. It's so beautiful. Thank you, Sheila.
Thank you.
Taking a deep breath in for Sheila. Sending her all the love. Would anybody else like to share? Hannah, Brittany.
I can share.
Awesome.
I'm not never sure what comes out in this stream, but dear my rebel matriarch, I choose you. I am you. I embody the energy of my becoming. You always knew since a little girl that this is how the earth should be, held and supported by mothers, family, and community in love and peace and harmony. That it wasn't just a dream. It is a place you have lived, loved, and been. And you came back to breathe it into reality in this harsh and hard world. The world where people have forgotten the sacredness of life. It's a time for the dragon mamas to fight. We will not allow these monsters to continue to destroy our beautiful earth. We pray and call for a world where every single being is loved and respected for their worth. A world of peace and harmony, the world that we all inherently deserve. And it's matriarchy that will save she, that will change she, that will save our Mother Earth.
Oh my God, goosebumps. Love it, love it, love it. That was beautiful, honey. Always with the poetry and the invasperosity flowing through you. Stunning, honey, stunning. Taking a deep breath into Hannah and her beautiful words of wisdom and encouragement and love and remembrance. Sending her all of the love and the hugs. And the mic is open if anybody else wants to share. No pressure whatsoever. Stomping my wishes into the earth with dancing. Dance keeps us alive. Yes, it does, Brini, 100,000,000%. And we forget that medicine is always there for us. And when things get heavy, we must go back to that. Isn't they used to say, you know, when people got depressed back in the day, when is the last time they danced? Because that is, you know, such medicine for the soul. So I'll send you the songs that we played today, and you can access your own Rebel Mad playlist, and you can play it in your own way every day and dance like nobody is watching in your own living room. And yeah, it's just been such an honor. Is there anything that anybody else wants to share, say, anyone that needs help with integration? You know, we're here for you, to hold you and love you. And yeah, just today, you know, we've opened this portal, we've planted these seeds, we've, you know, weaved our bodies and our stories. So take time to just really integrate what has, you know, maybe opened up or come alive for you. And, you know, really think about, I'd love you to have a little think about what story are you carrying now that wants to be told. Obviously, you know, the Rebel Mad Jam is stories. We are storytellers. You know, we're Sean Keys. We're reclaiming the Sean Key and being the wise women in our lineage, and we want to share our stories in service to others. And the Rebel Ma is like an emerging archetype for the revolutionary woman who is healing and feeling and awakening and rising and walking us home this new and ancient way. And archetypal feminine energies, obviously they exist within the collective consciousness and within each of us. And by connecting to her spirit, we invoke her qualities and characteristics, and we empower ourselves, we empower collaboration, and we empower the rising of the feminine. So I like to think the Rebel Matriarch is part warrior, part healer, part visionary woman. You know, she walks between worlds, past and future, ancient and new. She leads from her womb, her heart, and her truth, and she's rooted in her ancestral line. So she knows she's never alone. She has the creative fire of her foremothers burning in her womb, and she's a vessel for stories long silenced, a torchbearer for the wisdom that they were counting on us to forget. And she rises not as a rebel against the world, but as a rebel for it, for life, for birth, for earth, for all that is sacred. And she is the woman who births a new world through her own becoming. So I absolutely love the Rebel Matriarch archetype that we have all created just by being who we are. And I'm really excited for the next chapter as Rebel Ma grows up and becomes the Rebel Matriarch. We will be opening applications for our next, you know, anthology book really soon. So for all of you who might be interested in joining this Rebel Ma collective of almost 100 women all around the world who are sharing their stories, who are done with, you know, waiting for permission, who are done dimming down their light, who are done carrying shame that was never ours to hold, and done with the dogma and the lies and the doctrine that we've been sold, then you get to come and join us to write your story, because silence is no longer an option, and to gather in sisterhood because the lone wolf is tired, and to heal and rise and lead because we remember who we are and what we're here for, and we do it together in this beautiful circle of truth and trust and potent sisterhood. And I'm super excited for the women who are already joining us, and this one's going to be fucking full power, and I'm really keen to, you know, get it out there, but it's not ready yet. So it's just about, you know, waiting for the applications to open. And in that time, just having a bit of reflection and thinking about, you know, how you see yourself as a Rebel Matriarch. What is your role in this world? And what can you kind of bring as like what is the story that you can bring, and the story that wants to be told, you know, and thinking about, as I said, what matriarchal leadership means to you, and what it would feel like to really believe in your own voice, to know that you are worthy of sharing your story, to feel safe to speak your truth, and to do it in a circle of women who are rising with you, so you never feel alone, you know, on this healing journey home. So yeah, I'm very excited, but if you all just reflect on those questions and keep in touch with me. Please reach out to me if you've got any questions, if you've got any reflections, if you've got any suggestions, and if this is something that you know you're a fuck hell yes to, then get in touch with me and I will keep you in the loop. I'll send out the waitlist link so that I have your details and I know that you want to be contacted when it's ready to go, and we will call this circle of women in, you know, who are remembering and who are rising and who are not waiting for anybody. We're going to create and weave this world together right here, right now, with where we are, with what we've got. So yeah, Mila Bukas, thank you so much. Gura Mila Mila Mahagut, as they say in Ireland, or Suksama, as they say in Bali. And yeah, thank you so much for joining me. Really, really beautiful to get into our bodies and to fucking live like matriarchs now. Sorry for all the cursing. That's just how I roll. And please do reach out and let me know if you didn't share your Rebel Matriarch letter. You can send it to me on the QT, or, you know, reach out to me in any ways, Instagram, email, and Facebook, Substack, and keep sharing this love, keep sharing this message, keep sharing these stories that we're putting out there. We can't do it alone. We are in this thing together. All right. So thank you so much. And I will love yous and leave yous if you don't have anything else to say, but I'll stay on for a minute in case anybody wants to unpack anything while I'm still here. I'm going to stop the recording now, but thank you.